Alright everyone, quick video on how to set up zclimate, which is a front-end API for using zcashd full node wallet. You're going to need zcashd installed and caught up. I do have the user and password set, but you don't have to. You don't have to have the transaction ID or TX ID flag set in the configuration. It can just be blank. The default zcash.conf, blank file. The machine only has 2 threads on it, so it may not be the fastest thing in the world, but it does work for this. So zcashd. Besides that, we're going to need inotify tools. Sudo apt install inotify tools. I already have it. You're going to need Rust. I have the latest version, so I'll just show you Rust. And then we're going to need to clone into the zclimate repo. Now you can do this in the downloads folder if you want, so that you can name your binary zclimate. But in this case, I'm just going to name it climate. You can name whatever you want. Cargo new climate. Okay. Alright. And so now we're going to open our file export, because this is the easiest way. We're going to go into zclimate that we just cloned. We're going to copy main rs, and we're going to copy cargo.toml. Copy. And we're going to go into the climate program that we just made. Sorry, here we go. We're going to paste the cargo toml file and overwrite the old one. And we're going to put the main rs into the src folder. Now we'll overwrite this one. Alright, so the climate is set up. Oopsie. We're going to go back into our zclimate folder. Now we're going to add permissions to almost all of them for read and write. So I'm going to not git, not cargo. All of the scripts here, plus all of the text files. Okay. Right click, properties, permissions, other, read and write. Okay. Now we need to set the permissions for climate notify scripts, the debug script, climate use Knox 5, climate use Knox 3, and climate use Knox 1. Which I'm not forgetting any. No, that is all. Permissions, the properties, permissions, make the file executable. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to copy our debug script into the .zcash folder. Now this is an extra script. I'll demonstrate it at the end, but you don't actually have to do this if you don't want to. I've actually got it from the last time, so I'm just going to overwrite it. And the same thing with these other files. They need to go into the src folder, and I already have copies of them in there, so we're just going to overwrite them all. Okay. Climate notify scripts, the climate use files. Okay. Copy. We go into the zcash src folder. Oh. Paste it right here. Actually, no, I just paste it right here. Paste. There's a couple of them, so I'm just going to overwrite all of them. Okay. And as you can see, here they are. Climate notify, climate use. Alright. Now we have to start these 3 scripts. Alternatively, we could maybe start this one, but I've only tested it slightly, and it did seem to work, but I don't know about the performance of running the 3 scripts from inside of one script instead of just running the 3. But this script will run all 3 from just one terminal. So, going to go, as you can see, zcash src folder, and we're going to run climate notify to the second terminal, climate notify 1, and into our third terminal, climate notify 2. Okay. This one was so big. There we go. Now we're going to go to our climate that we just made. CD climate. And we're going to cargo run. Take just a second. As you can see, that dual core power really coming through here. It's just unbelievable speed. 2.4 gigahertz. Just can't even. Okay, so here's what you're presented with. We have to enter the path to the zcash.conf file. It has to be the absolute path /home /John, your username. Mine, like I showed you, lives in that directory, so zcash.conf. The default place is right here, .zcash, zcash.conf, which or wherever you're running it from. We have to add the path to the src folder, which is where we just pasted all of those files, /home /zcash /src, just like the example. Now we have to add the path to the debug log, which is where we added the debug script, that first file we moved. So first /home /John /.zcash /debug log debug.log. Here we go. Alright. Now get info, basic one. And as you can see, we're running just fine. Excuse me. Show receive history, RX history there, which is list received by address. We'll get prompted with our addresses. They're split up into the account here. As you can see, account 1, unified address, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We'll try 5, see what's in there. As you can see, we have 1, transaction ID amount, there's no memo, and then the block time. Let's try 4, and that has 2, memo, test transaction from zclimate, test proof policy fix. Transaction IDs, the amounts, the block times. Now, the wallet, letter B, brings up all of our addresses and their individual balances. It also shows our accounts. Oopsie, oh gosh, dang it. Here we go, sorry about that. As you can see, unified account 0, unified account 1. Okay. And then to select one, if we wanted to send, we would have to have enough to send. We've got enough in this one right here with the balance. But if we were to enter this one or this one, then it would not let us proceed further. So we'll enter 5, just to show you. And I suppose we'll go ahead and make a transaction, why not? Oh, wait a second, I hit the wrong one. I meant 4, oopsie. Like I said, see, hit the wrong one. Receivers, not enough funds to send. Let's try again. Fork. Okay. Yes, enough funds to send. So let's send it. Let's send it to 3. Why not? Okay. Now enter S to send funds. Any other input will return. So enter S. Paste in receiver address. Paste. Okay. Now if this address is wrong, it will fail and it will return. Address is valid. We only have enough to make the transaction fee, so we're going to send 0. This amount isn't verified, so you could put in wrong amount and it's going to not check that this is not a number. The transaction would not go through in the end, but here you need to enter the right amount. So 0. The memo, it will check whether or not the length is too long, and if it's too short, it'll fill it up with the zeros like how it's supposed to. So we'll go test transaction, for example video. Exclamation point. Alright, now you'll be prompted to check everything. Addresses are right, the amounts are right, the fee is correct. The privacy policy will be set to no privacy by default, which basically means that any transaction that you execute will succeed regardless of where the funds actually sit in the pool. So we're going to send Y to send. Any other input will fail. And as you see, we're prompted with the operation ID. We're going to give it just a few seconds to actually execute the transaction, but we can check that with O, capital O, which will list operation status. It doesn't remove the operations from the history. Any transactions that we've done since turning on the node will appear. So let's give it just a second. ID CB2DB. Oops, wrong mouse. I think that was him. Oh, these are all the other ones I made. The last ones that have some fails. So, yep, CB2DB. And it was a success, as you can see. Now, our balances won't necessarily update now for just a few minutes. And when we do that, we'll run our wallet again and see our updated balances and stuff. All addresses, lists all addresses and the associated accounts. New account, we'll create a new account. I'm not going to create a new account right now, but as you can see, we have 0 and 1. We have to enter capital Y to create. Any other input to return. You can't select which number, it's just going to be the next number. So let's go back. And if we list our wallet again, we'll see it's still just account 1. It didn't create an account. Enter anything, return. Okay. New unified address. We'll go ahead and create a new address for this account here, account 1. We have one UA of a full UA, and we have one UA with just a sapling and a transparent. So we'll create one with an orchard and a sapling. We'll do that. So we'll hit F, capital F, enter the existing account. There's account number 1, and we want to create orchard and sapling, which here is number 2. Now you can create a full, orchard transparent, sapling transparent, just orchard, just sapling. So let's create 2. If you hit 7 or 0 or anything else, it's not going to go through, or if you just hit enter, it won't do it. You have to specifically hit 2. So here, I'll show you real quick. See, invalid. 1, 2. And we get our new address. It's just the raw output here, account 1, UA, sapling, orchard. And if we go into our wallet, excuse me, we can see sapling orchard address. now with our transparent sapling and our for UA under account 1. Oops. Alright, now we can let's do show RX history. We sent that to, I believe it was this address right here, number 3. Let's see if it's updated yet. Yep. Test TX for example video exclamation point. TXID. Pretty sure that was it. Oh yeah, because the op ID, I'm thinking of the op ID, what it was ending in. This is him right here. And if you ever want to see, we can just run operations again. Get all transactions is going to parse out our debug log and get all of our transaction history. This is going to take a minute. On this node, it's not going to take as long, capital Y, to continue, because we don't have the TXID flag set. It's only about 500 megabyte file, which is still pretty big. But when you have the TXID flag set, it's over a gigabyte. It's probably like 1.1 gigabyte, and that takes a little bit longer. And if you have more transactions, obviously it's going to take a little bit longer. The other ones we will show you are sign message, verify message, and list unified receivers. There's also zgetbalance, which are basically just paste in the address that you own, or a transparent address, any transparent address, and it will give you the balance on it. That was just in there from when I started, really, and it just kind of stuck around. Sign message, we can sign a message basically with any of our transparent addresses. Verify message is the reciprocal of that, where you take a transparent ADDI, the signature in the message, and it'll tell you if it's true or false. And our list unified receivers will give us the receivers for any unified address that we paste in, not just our own. And then X is exit. If we hit capital X, it'll exit the program. We could always control C. Now there's no persistent memory in the program. All of these calls to all of these things, TXI, when it calls the history on these things, the balance and the wallet and all that stuff, it's all live. It's doing it right then and there, and then maybe it takes it into a list, and then it goes through the list, and then it does get balance on all of the addresses it just pulled out or something. Alright, so here we go. These are all the transactions that have either been received or sent from the wallet. Now, as you can see, the first one was a receive, and the second one here, it says type send. So that's how you know that you sent it from out of this wallet. It has the receive address, the value, the memo. Now this, I think this is how Ubuntu 22, which is this operating system, parses the shield emoji, because this looks a lot like the Y wallet. Yep, sent from Y wallet. Okay, so this was sent, test transaction, no memo, test transaction. For example, that was from previous video, which you can watch. I think this was afterwards when I was testing out the fixes from the bugs I found in the previous video, and then here's the one we just did. Alright, so let's sign a message. Sign. And sometimes zcachd is slow a little bit. I want to put a print line there that asks you, please wait. We'll enter, I don't know, number 3, I suppose. Excuse me. Enter the message. Example message for the video. For that video. Like I said, guys, 2 threads here. Sometimes when it's parsing a block and stuff, it kind of takes just a second. There we go. All right. So, where's my mouse? Here we go. So we have the signature, the signing address, and the message. So if you want to verify it, or if somebody else did this and you wanted to verify their message, you enter the address. This guy. Like I said, would be probably somebody else's. You enter the signature that they gave you with the message. It's alright, you can just copy and paste it like that. Why can't you just paste it? Alright, fine. Oh, it's because it had the new line at the end, which hit enter. Excuse me, guys. It's getting late. And the signed message. Oh, come on, you. Has to be exactly right. As you can see, true. Any deviation on any of that, and it would have been false. If the address is incorrect with either the signed memo or the get or the signed message or verify message, well, not the signed message, excuse me, because it's going to give us our own address. But if we paste in an address that isn't valid or isn't anything, it's going to tell us that's invalid, but it's not going to break. It's just going to have us go through the rest of it and just tell us invalid address. That's part of the way it's just programmed. It needs to be put into a loop in order to break without any program. It's okay. Signing address. Sorry. All right. So now this one's close. No cigar, as you can see. So at least, if you get done putting it all in, you know at this point that the address is invalid, so you don't waste your time doing the signature and then entering the message and then wondering, wait a minute, the address is invalid. Anyways, I think that's about it, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off here. Here, let's run show RX history. Yeah, oh yeah, we already saw this. Okay, I'm gonna close off here now. All right. Until next time.